Today, I'm going to talk about some real-time design visualization in Unreal Engine. My name is Craig Barr. I'm with Epic Games on the enterprise side. So most of what I'm going to be talking about here is the power of Unreal Engine as it relates to our real-time visualization workflows. We're going to look at some pretty cool things going on within the Unreal Engine toolset, a couple announcements in there as well. And then we'll look at some of the future roadmap here on the end. We have some really cool things in development that some that are available right now, and we'll take a look at those momentarily as well. So our the real-time story overall for real-time story with real-life problems. So quite often what we see from all the people out there all over the world using real-time engine for any kind of project, whatever it may be, they often come to us and they say, we see that they have poor or lacking tool sets, so they just don't have the toolkit to be able to do what they hope to be able to accomplish. Or they also have this ability of where they become kind of locked. They become kind of pigeonholed or kind of locked into a place where they can't share the data properly with each other. And that's a big bottleneck as well. When you're working on a project, you should organically be able to go with wherever you want to be able to do that. Another problem that we quite often see is that people have to use all sorts of different tools to get to different media outputs. And on top of that, using different tools to solve data problems. And we're going to look at a bunch of cool solutions going on in Unreal that we have right now to solve that. As well, we often see that third parties are deciding how you're going to visualize or how you're going to experience your design data. It shouldn't be that way. What we do with Unreal Engine is we want to empower you fully. It should be that you get in there and create what you want, how you want, when you want it. And that's exactly what we're building here continuously with Unreal Engine. So with Unreal Engine, just really briefly, it isn't just a one-direction tool. This is just a sampling of some of the kind of cloud in the sky or the generic kind of areas of where we can go. From things like still images or interactive experiences, maybe immersive experiences like VR or AR. It may be going into things like film and different things like that. But of course, with Unreal Engine, you're not just stuck into building an app or building that VR thing or maybe outputting a video. You can produce beautiful high-resolution still imagery. We see people using this for posters, brochures, print media right out of Unreal Engine. As well, interactive experiences, of course. We have on display here today a bunch of different things like product configurators, automotive configurators. You'll see a couple presentations around that as well. The ability to interact with your data, whether it's through live in Unreal Engine or an app that you quickly build out and share with your clients to be able to interact with their designs on the fly. And of course, immersive experiences. Building out things like virtual reality or augmented reality or mixed reality to be able to experience the design or test a design and be able to maybe put it in front of potential customers to be able to kind of foolproof that design before you even go to the construction phase of that or the manufacturing phase of that. And in the end, you get this one-to-one scale design review. So I mentioned this idea of immersive experiences. Here we see BMW using Unreal Engine to be able to experience their design there as well. Here's a really cool thing with the Future Group, works a lot with the Weather Channel, and they use live. You've probably seen some of those cool things where they have a broadcaster right in the middle of things like a storm or a tornado or a flood. And they're doing that with all of these live, driven through Unreal Engine experiences of different kinds of immersive experiences that they're able to go right live to broadcast with as well. And of course, a linear output. So we see people using Unreal in all sorts of different ways. And one of them as well is this ability to be able to go right through Unreal Engine and put it live to whether it's to television or to feature film. In a number of different ways. It could be pre-visualization, or it could be right to film or right to television there as well. So here's an example of something that we see quite often in the film and visual effects industry of virtual production happening, where we have all this different kind of post-visualization or technical visualization right up to leading right into full production happening. There's a lot of really exciting things happening in that space. With Unreal Engine, of course, it's very quick and easy to be able to produce beautiful real-time visualizations of different designs and data. So here we have some beautiful examples here from the guys over at Build Media, and they're constantly pushing Unreal Engine into all sorts of different directions. This one here, they're utilizing a lot of our ray tracing technology in there as well. So some different industries that we see Unreal Engine working in, and this is just a sampling of it. We're always amazed ourselves when we see new industries that people are using Unreal Engine in exciting and different ways. So with the benefits to any industry that we see we see this ability to support all different AEC and design formats. And I have something coming up on that note as well regarding our Datasmith plugin, Unreal Studio you've probably heard of before, and how we support all of these different, whether it's non-game data, CAD data from architectural engineering, construction, manufacturing, any kind of design format it may be. And of course with that, regardless of the industry, Unreal Engine brings this powerful tool set, a development platform to allow you to achieve what it is you want to do. And rapid iteration of concepts so that you can bring your design in and very quickly realize what it is that you need to do and be able to get maybe a proof of concept out the door to win that job from a client. And of course, as I mentioned previously there, we saw the BMW example, this idea of experiencing design at one-to-one or at human scale as well, right? And of course, we always pride ourselves in being able to give you the toolkit to start, right? So what we often do, of course, Unreal Engine is free. We provide leading edge education for free, assets for free to have a fast start, and of course all of this is free and royalty free as well. There's continually things that we're always adding to your workflow to be able to do this. I'm not going to go too deep into some stats here, but what we do see in a lot of these different industries, we see that things people are adopting real-time workflows because they're seeing the benefit. They're seeing the cost factor, the benefit there, and they're also being able to see the quality that they're getting from real-time rendering as well. Real-time rendering now in Unreal Engine, we're pushing this to a direction where we have customers being able to go direct to massive right on a film set right to the big screen because the resolution and the quality is so high. So in the AEC market, we're seeing people adopting this real-time workflow with Unreal Engine, and of course, we've had this announcement for the last few years. We fully support BIM workflows. You probably remember at AU last year, all of our different Revit content and Revit demos that we had going on, that we were showing workflows right in Unreal. We're showing a bunch here at our booth here as well today. Manufacturing design, we're seeing similar things here, where that our manufacturing design, maybe it's automotive, or it could be factory design, whatever it may be, product design. We're seeing that the majority of those, 92%, they feel that experiencing the design of the product in an immersive sense is very important in the design process. So it really is changing the way we design, the way we realize a product as well. So same thing as AEC, just a sampling of manufacturing design workflows. We work through this entire cycle with what those industries are used to, because that's the way it should be. Your data should be the way you need it to be coming into Unreal Engine, and that is exactly how we pride ourselves in working in these different spaces. So film and television, we saw a little sample there earlier. We're seeing now studios, television studios, film studios, visual effects studios, seeing that real-time technology is revolutionizing how they're delivering their products out the door, whether it's the television or the small screen mobile or the big screen for film as well. And of course in training and simulation, we have all sorts of different clientele using Unreal Engine in amazing ways that they can use this to teach or to learn, but also to experience things to achieve safety things that they may not be able to experience in another virtual type of experience here. The ability to add in or layer on different types of training modules within your feature as well. So I mentioned some of the tool sets that are going on in Unreal Engine. I'm going to look at a couple that we've expanded upon and a couple of new things that we've added into Unreal here as well. So if you're not familiar with the way that we work with our development, we have this kind of organic development process where we release to the public on a preview type of build as we go. So with Unreal Engine, 4.2.3 is fully out there, and 4.2.3.1 is the build that most people are using out there right now, depending on their production needs. But 4.2.4 is available right now. You can grab 4.2.4, we're on Preview 2. I'm not sure if Preview 3 is live yet, but it will be this week at some point. And one of the coolest things that we have in there, if you've heard of Unreal Studio and our Datasmith workflow to allow you to bring in CAD data from anywhere into Unreal, Unreal Studio worked on its own. It's Unreal Engine, but it allowed you to unlock that plugin and bring all that data. Well, we've actually just combined it all. So now everything's available to everyone in Unreal Engine. You can take advantage of this to be able to grab all of your different, non-game or any kind of CAD workflow, whether it's from architectural engineering, construction, manufacturing, product design, anything that it may be. You have this now in 4.24, you grab this, download, it's in there for you. You can start bringing in all that data and work with this. Your Revit files, your SketchUp files, whatever it may be, it's now all built in just to Unreal Engine natively, and off you go and you can work with that tool set. So if you're not familiar with Datasmith, when I use the term Datasmith, just very quickly what that is. Datasmith is more than just a CAD importer. It takes care of all of that pain points that used to be the translation, the tessellation, the conversion of CAD data into Unreal Engine. And what Datasmith does behind the scenes is very powerfully and very quickly as well, translates this data, preserving the high fidelity of what you expect from your CAD designs. We have a lot of automotive customers that are using this in this way, and that CAD data has to be accurate to the design. So of course, this is the way Datasmith works. It preserves that data, brings that in, takes care of all the tessellation, it transfers over all the metadata, the product structure, the naming, the hierarchies that you're used to from your other products. And of course, we have a robust re-import workflow back and forth. And furthermore with this, we have a couple of interesting tools going on that allow you to build out your data into amazingly powerful ways. And one of them is the Variant Manager, which is part of our Datasmith workflow. That's now in there with 424. You can grab this and very quickly build up different variations of things. So you might often see things like product configurators. Well, Variant Manager allows you to stack up a bunch of different things and very quickly link that up to have a configurator, for example, an automotive configurator, an architectural configurator like we're seeing on some of the booth demo pods here. Another thing that we're doing here with our templates is we're always adding more, right? Starting points for you to be able to build from. One of them that we've had in the past was this multi-user template. Still there, but we've grown and added more to this, and we now have this collaborative viewer template. And in there is built in the ability to have multiple users all within your Unreal Engine viewport, or maybe as a standalone application, whatever it may be. You could have someone in VR or desktop. They could be in any type of format and be able to look at the design together collaboratively in there as well. And we have built-in ways of working with the data in exploded views or different ways to work with your hierarchies in there as well. And on that note, with the project creation, or the template side, our project creation workflow, we've actually expanded that now as well, and that's per industry now. So we have this as a very industry-specific thing here. Here's an example of architectural, engineering, construction, templates that are also specific to that industry as well. Here we have an example of an automotive template that we have right off the bat. So you're able to jump in, decide what it is you want to do, whether you're creating some sort of product design review or an architectural and engineering project, maybe you're creating a game. It doesn't matter, there are all different places that you can pick and different paths that will lead you there. And the important thing as well to note is that that includes all the plugins enabled for you to be able to begin that workflow. As well, we've expanded our material and our asset offering. So you may be familiar with our automotive material data set. It's actually built in conjunction with McLaren. Our friends at Dell actually have a beautiful McLaren on display over there, and we work with many different companies, and we actually worked with the designers at McLaren to build that automotive material data set that's accurate to actual paint data in there as well. So we've expanded that pack, and we've now done something similar here where we're adding in an AEC material pack. And this is everything from fabric pieces and maybe floors or bricks or stone, whatever it may be. And you get things like automatic coordinate systems in there, predictable size, adjustable, customizable scale, depth and relief, some really beautiful stuff going on in there. So as a sample here, we're using some of the fabric here as a sample out of that pack in that scene. As well, if you're not familiar with some of the news that we announced last week at our Unreal Academy in London, England, we've recently acquired Quixel. If you're not familiar with what Quixel is, you should definitely give them a Google. Quixel is an amazing group of really highly skilled, very highly intelligent individuals that their goal is to scan the world. And what they're doing from that is they're building this really robust data set of things like assets, geometric assets, as well as very in-depth, very accurate, physically based materials, very powerful shaders. And we've acquired them to bring this into the Unreal Engine fold, the development fold. And we've also just given away an enormous amount of assets on that. So if you're an Unreal customer and you jump on there, you can grab, you better have some good bandwidth and some time if you want to grab it all, because it's all there, but it's all going to be there. So there's no rush. You're always going to have access to that library. And we're going to be doing a ton more with that. We've actually increased our material layer development there as well. So there's a couple things going on with that workflow. Now I mentioned with Datasmith, the ability to work with data and how we translate that data or convert that data. So as a plugin, it does it behind the scene for you. You can customize and set that how you want it. But with our data prep tools, we have the ability to go in and define all different ways of working with your data. It might be specific levels of detail. It might be merging different objects or meshes together into one. You might have millions of components and you want to break that down to maybe 50 components. Very easy just to grab that and merge those together. We have a couple of interesting tools in there that allow you to defeature assets. And this may be that you have a lot of really high resolution, small little pieces of data built through, like holes, for example, through geometry, and you're not going to see that in your visualization. Well, that geometrically in that data can be quite heavy on the performance for something interactable, especially something immersive like virtual reality or augmented reality. So we have our defeaturing tool set that allows you to actually remove that, those things that maybe you're not going to see or you don't need. And of course it's non-destructive. You can work with this in a way and come back and forth as you need it. And the ability to script or automate your workflows as well is available in there. And further to this, what we've actually just brought out in 4.24, 4.24 is a massive release, and what we've just brought out is our visual data prep editor. This is a new editor built right into Unreal Engine that allows you to customize how data is coming through. So in this example here, we've been working with Revit data into Unreal for a long time now, and now what we have is the ability to very quickly customize how you work with that data. So here we have a Revit scene of a building coming in here, a hospital complex, and there may be some things that we need to do to build a visualization to communicate that design to a client or a number of different clients. There may be pieces of data in here that, like I mentioned before, may be bogging down the scene that we don't need to see. So we can go through there, we can remove things very quickly, we can customize how those things come in, we can set the material data set, all in this procedural paradigm, this procedural workflow here, that we can go in and plug in data as we need it, as required, so that we can come back at any time and dial in how that mesh is coming in, how it's subdividing or tessellating, or maybe how we want to replace one mesh with another, or maybe it's hundreds of thousands of little objects with one mesh. It could be something like those trees or something that we want to randomize or be able to simplify. Very easy to do in this visual workflow. So here we are, we're taking that data set live from Revit, and very quickly, just through building that quick little node-based workflow, we're able to visually look at that and say, I don't need that, I don't want those, I want to replace those trees with that, and the glass needs to be this material, and we can do this in a very quickly, procedural visual paradigm that allows us to achieve that very quickly with Revit data live in Unreal Engine. So we talked about working with data here, and I showed a couple of different ways that we can work with data preparation. One of the cool new things that we've just unveiled now is a completely new modeling tools mode in Unreal Engine. And this is the ability to create static mesh primitives, but take this a lot further. So we can actually take things and draw out polygonal workflows. We can use tools you're familiar with, like extrusion, and we actually have a very robust sculpting tool set now available in there as well. All of this here allows you to build and fix problems with data that may be coming from somewhere else. We've all seen that in an inverted normal, a reversed face, or a bunch of inverted faces. We can now fix those in Unreal Engine. It's one of those things where you don't need to hop out to another package to fix some of those things. We have a pretty robust toolbar of modeling tool kits in here to be able to work with these different things. So different things like merging and actually Booleaning, using a Boolean system to actually blend meshes together very quickly or subtract meshes as well. We also have a nice sculpting tool set in here. If you're familiar with things like ZBrush or Mudbox, you'll be very comfortable with these. It's the same idea. The exact same tool set in the way that these work. Another very cool thing that is of huge interest to a lot of the people here at AU is point cloud support. This was previously available as a plugin outside of Unreal by an external developer, and now we've brought that into the fold. The plugin is now there with Unreal Engine and allows you to bring point cloud data live right into Unreal Engine for whatever workflow that may be that you want to do. There's a lot of cool ways to be able to work with point clouds, and we have a big demand in all different places of people wanting to work with that. We've expanded our landmass tools, our ability to work with landscapes. So now you can work with massive terrain data sets with our new set of Blueprint brushes. And this is our Blueprint, if you're not familiar, is our visual scripting nodes. We can take Blueprint, we've customized this into a set of brushes to be able to allow you to create very complex, detailed environments. We have different ways of working with curling noise or the way that the actual mountain or the edges of those terrains may be. So it's fully customizable. You can work on a massive infinite terrain structure. Something that was difficult previously is now very easy to do. We have a ton of different features in here that I'm not going to go into the full detail on all of these, but some of them that are applicable definitely to a lot of the crowd here at Autodesk University. I mentioned the material layer support. Material layers has been there as an experimental feature. We're opening it up again and furthering the development on that. Things like TIFF texture support is now available in the texture assets. My colleague here, Daryl and David, they're going to be showing some of the physically based sky atmosphere, screen space, global illumination, a ton of ray tracing improvements. So come and take a look at the pods here and the talks up here today to see that. Another cool thing that we have is a robust 3D text set that actually lets you bring in fonts from wherever, TrueType fonts, for example, OpenFace fonts that you can bring in and customize that into whatever it is you need to do with text. Maybe it's a broadcast thing or whatever it may be. So we're going to be showing lots of new cool tool sets here on the booth. Make sure you come by and check out some of the pods. And I just want to point out that we do have at the back around the corner a very cool HoloLens 2 demo. Make sure you go check that out, all built with Unreal Engine. Some very cool stuff going on with the Apollo 11 moon landing there. So please take a look at that. Thank you guys for coming and checking me out. Please stick around and watch some more.